Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Ready Set podcast. My name's Ricky.
My name's Angus.
And we're back again with our favorite Ready Setter, Donnie Mac.
Hello, everyone.
So,
You were explaining about, we were kind of talking behind the scenes here, is that you were chilling with another Twitch streamer from San Fran.
From San Fran. His name is Dave. He's a really cool, IRL streamer.
Shout out
to Dave.
Shout out to Dave.
He's just like G's Giselle, who we had on our stream not too long ago. Or sorry, on our podcast too long ago. He's a really cool Twitch streamer. Anyway, a few weeks ago, I hung out with Giselle and Dave, and we were talking about road rage.
Oh.
And you know what? I've never really... I know I have had road rage, but I never really thought it was super serious until I don't know. Do you guys road rage?
I just get mad, talk to myself.
Yeah.
But I only get mad because people drive really slow.
Yeah.
Or they're constantly braking. People. You know, you see the red light keep going like this, and it makes me nervous.
Dude, do you know what mine is? I think I've vented to you about it before.
Cyclists.
No, it's people. It's people. It starts with this. They're going slow, and you want to pass them.
Asians.
Yeah. No. Somebody.
He's trying to target you. Put a little target on the back of your.
Yeah. No. It's when somebody's going slow, and you try to pass them, and they speed match you.
Oh.
I hate speed matchers, man. Oh my god. Because I can literally tell, say, we go on a highway, right? It's 90 or 100. Everybody probably goes about 110, maybe 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're in the slow lane and somebody's going 95, so you go to pass them, and you can see to pass them, you have to accelerate at 100, 110. You look, and they're speeding up. And I understand it's probably a subconscious thing because, it's I don't want them to pass me. I'm going to speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
I'll literally look over a little bit, and I'll just be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, we were mentioning that before. When it gets to road rage, I guess Ricky's bringing this up a little bit because whenever he's driven with me or vice versa, I'm always very outspoken when somebody breaks the rules. Somebody will cut in, or when somebody doesn't let somebody merge in. That's one of my things.
Right.
There's rules you follow. It'll annoy me, and I'll make comments on it, right?
And he'll honk occasionally, I'm guessing.
And I think that's fine. Yeah, you got to let somebody know they're in the wrong. Otherwise, they're going to keep repeating these actions. Right?
Until one time when it wasn't even that long ago. Let's say a year ago or maybe a year and a half ago.
Okay, sure.
We were in my car. I was driving Donnie. Donnie was in the passenger seat. And what was it? Somebody didn't let me merge or whatever. It was or somebody was doing something dumb. Anyway, Donnie was like, yo, look at this fucking idiot. You got to honk him, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And he fucking reached over to my fucking steering wheel. And he was like, blast that. He was fucking holding he was fucking honking on this guy. I was like, I'm just driving normally. And this guy's like, Donnie, you got to honk this fucking guy. I was like, what? It's not a big deal.
I remember this moment, not super vividly, but I do remember doing this.
Yeah.
So I can confirm it's real. But I'm pretty sure if I was doing that, either I was in a mood and I was feeling really silly, or this guy actually really did fuck up and he needed to hear about it. But yeah, the biggest thing I always instill too is that when I have, if you want to call it road rage, I will usually verbalize everything. I will not let it influence how I drive.
Yeah.
I will not do the exact same thing, and maybe speed up and cut this guy off, or brake check someone, or tailgate them for hours and just flicker your beams like some, Beamer drivers do or something like that. But I think it's good to vent it out at least, rather than actually physically, because that can be dangerous then.
Yeah.
If I'm in my car yelling to myself like some schizo person, then it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not
right.
Right.
Versus actually, going out there and doing something that could actually put someone in danger.
Yeah.
I can admit I used to have a lot of road rage. I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I've really matured and stopped caring. I used to think, man, it's my job to be the karma for these people that are being idiots.
Okay.
I don't know what sort of odd complex I had, but I thought I was vastly superior to other drivers.
Because you're better?
Because I am better.
I think everybody thinks that though,
Because I am better.
I am better, but I didn't need to be the karma, the driving force, the enforcer, right?
Okay.
I think everyone thinks that way though in the terms of driving. Nobody thinks they're in the wrong. You're always pushing the blame because maybe you sped up and didn't give that guy room to merge, and now he's the one cutting you off or something like that. Right. So like you're always going to see it through a bias lens, you know. I understand that, but yeah, I feel like I kind of, when you said that, I'm like, I kind of resonated a little bit about that, like how I think I'm always the perfect driver. Yeah. And there's probably countless times that I did something that probably shouldn't have done, right? And I was like, you know, like breaking an unwritten rule of doing whatever. But so like nobody's perfect, you know. But
my road rage was bad to the point where at one time I was driving my friend's daughter in my Fiat, so it was like a 2-seater, right?
Yeah.
So the friend's daughter was sitting in the passenger seat, and there was this taxi that was had their high beams on.
Okay.
Along Kingsway, like not too far from here.
Yeah.
And then oh shit, okay.
No, like by accident, or it's okay. You said that there's a lot of street names that are the exact same as that across the world.
Yeah, around the world. And so yeah, this guy had his high beams on, and then I was like so fucking annoyed. He was behind me, right? And then I turned to the other lane, and then we were at a red light side by side, and this fucking taxi was on my right side, right beside me, and so my friend's daughter was in the middle of me and this taxi. And then I rolled her window down with my control, right?
Yo.
And I was like yelling out to this fucking guy. And my friend's daughter, she was just like looking forward. Yeah. And then at that point, I was like, oh my God, I've gone way off the rail. At that moment, I was like so enraged, right? So I didn't think about it.
Were you embarrassed after?
Maybe like, yeah.
Or you knew what you did. And you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. It was like a few minutes after that.
How young was she?
Not even teens.
You traumatized.
Yeah.
Just never getting into your car ever again.
I felt pretty bad.
Uncle Ricky yells.
I still I think about that sometimes. Yeah. And then you know what? Like not too long ago even, you know what? Tim, our Donnie and I, our good friend Tim, he was like, we were going out somewhere and we went to the mall. And so Tim was driving behind me in his truck, and then I was driving in front of him. And then there was this guy in the parking lot that stopped his car randomly in the parking lot. There was like plenty of space in front of him to go forward. There was like no cars in front of him, but he's just stopped in the middle of the road. Okay. And then I just like I just like hit a honk, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then his wife, he was like letting his wife out of his car.
Oh, okay.
And then it turned out to be seniors.
Oh, then you feel like a jerk.
I felt a little bit bad. And then as soon as the senior lady got out of the car, she was like looking at me and she was like giving me the hand gesture, like what the fuck or whatever, right? Yeah. And then it's like I didn't know, it was just a reaction, right? I felt a little bit bad, and I was like, I was giving her the what the fuck kind of thing, because it's like he shouldn't have stopped in the middle of the road either. I mean, right? It's like it's literally brake checking anyway. So yeah, and then I just like gave her one of these, like what the heck. It wasn't a middle finger. It was just like a what up.
Yeah,
right?
I love how that you felt bad and you did the exact same thing. Like, hey, what's your problem?
Yeah, but it was like softer than that. Anyway, the husband put his car into park, and then he got out of his car to defend his wife rightfully, right? Like I guess kind of thing. Anyway, I don't know. And he walked towards my car, and then I was like, oh fuck, all right, let's do this. Yeah. And I got out of my car. I was like, all right, I guess I'm fucking have to beat this old 80-year-old man up and his wife. I was like, oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to beat these two old seniors up. Because he approached me. I was like just sitting in my car.
You were ready, man.
And I got out of my car, and then Tim, who was behind me, and I didn't realize.
He's just watching this whole thing develop.
No, he immediately parked his car or his truck, and he like ran out. And he's like, please. He put himself between me and like the seniors.
That's nice.
And he's like, please, no fighting. And I was like, whatever. And then we all just got into our cars. Okay.
So at a time like that, if Tim didn't jump out, and it's either you're gonna get beat by an old person,
right,
or that old person's gonna be, which would you take? Would you let him beat you up?
No, it's like a defensive reflex to not
so
get beat up. So
you beat an old person.
I mean, if push comes to shove, then yes, beat comes to beat.
You're in a tough situation. I feel if he swings first, you gotta at least defend yourself.
I would not swing first.
I wouldn't say hit him, but I mean like restrain him in some regard, right?
I mean, in all fairness,
I don't think it's a good outcome no matter what you do, though.
It's like either you get beat by an old person, then you'll be that person.
Or you're gonna be the guy who beat up an old person. It's like, do you win with that? I don't think you win.
You know, in all fairness, all it would have taken was like a light shove from me, and this really senior person would have fallen over and cracked his skull.
So you know your answer right away. You should do.
But
nothing.
then also, it's a good investment to get a dash cam because all of that was caught out there.
Oh, okay.
So the dash cam would show that they approached me.
Yeah.
The dash cam would show that the senior swung at me first or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then I would have acted in defense.
Yeah, there's no he say, she say.
Yeah.
Just there's video.
It's
facts.
just gruesome videos, yes.
Yeah, gruesome.
Gruesome.
All right, Ricky. Not letting you near anybody over the age of 70 anymore.
Out of self-defense.
Yeah. So that was probably like my most recent thing, which was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
See, I'm proud to say I follow through on my actions. I'm not just, or I follow through on my words. I'm not, I'll just talk. I have 0 road rage incidents. I literally have 0.
You keyed somebody's car.
I did not key somebody's car.
Okay, you peed on somebody's truck.
That's false as well. Anyways, Ricky, you're getting off topic here. My point was that I have 0 like traffic infractions, 0 speeding tickets. And I've been pulled over once. Yeah. And it was by a cop. And I was coming home from a friend's place late at night. And I was completely sober too. He's pulled me over. He's like, wow, you know why I pulled you over? I was like, no clue. He's like, your back taillight's out. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, anyways, get that fixed. I'm not going to give you a ticket, but just wanted to let you know.
Wow. Yeah. White privilege.
Yeah, white privilege.
Don't you get that? No, like, don't you, like, they let you off?
Every time I've been pulled over, I've gotten a ticket.
Was it because of speeding or something? Because you were speeding, that's like a big difference.
Because usually I rarely, I'll be honest with you, I'm rarely speeding. I'm usually very much like a right lane driver.
Yeah.
Oh.
I might go 5 over, 5 or 10 over, but I'm not going exorbitant.
Yeah. They were like 10 over.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like 9 or 10 over. It wasn't significant.
And you got a ticket.
Yeah, and I got a ticket. So every time, except for one time where I had were you there from Portland?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, so I had like Tim and Brandon. So sure. a few white friends in a car, and it was in the U.S. Where I was speeding a little bit, and the cop got my driver license, and then he gave me like a free pass. He was like, you know what, I'm not gonna take you on your birthday,
sure,
because it was my birthday that day.
Okay,
and then I think it was probably because of what white people in my car.
I think so.
Or my birthday.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I was super lucky.
Maybe it's your birthday.
But the whole time, other than that, I've always been given tickets for like just a little bit of speeding.
I feel though like you might be a bit of an anomaly just compared to Angus and I, just on the amount you drive.
Yeah.
Because I very rarely drive, and I've been pulled over once in my life. Just because it could be luck, but it could also just be amount of volume.
I drive a lot.
I've never been pulled over.
Oh, so you're even better than I am.
But you hardly drive.
I drive like every weekend, probably.
Yeah,
that's like
the same as me. I'm once or twice a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once or twice. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. But I don't really like speed or anything. So
we're chill. We're chillers.
Yeah. You prefer not to drive, right?
Yeah, I prefer it. It gives me anxiety. Driving gives me anxiety.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a difference too. I mean, Ricky's got a powerful car, so I mean, it's kind of when you have the potential to zip through some area, it's always tempting, especially when it's quiet and there's no people around or cars. It's kind of fun to push.
And you got a very nice color too, so cops can really see that and be like, "Wow."
Yeah,
but no. In this new one, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
It was like my Fiat before.
But it was it was a fast car.
Yeah, the Abarth was fast. Had a lot of pickup.
Okay, it was loud.
Yeah,
that's probably it.
Well, it had a lot of pickup. I thought it accelerated really fast.
Fine.
But yeah, even driving in your new car, the new app on it, I was like with Ricky the last few times, people was like staring at the car, and I was thinking people were looking at us. I'm like, why is that guy staring at us? He's looking at the car. I'm like, you get that? He's like, all the time. I'm like, maybe me just driving my Chevy. It's like people are like, oh, it's just a Chevy. This guy's like, oh, it's a Stinger and it's purple. What is that car?
Yeah.
I've noticed Ricky's car gets a lot of looks.
It's done really well too.
Shout out to my friend's shop, Tiago's Auto Spa.
Yeah, check them out.
Yeah, check them out.
Yeah.
They're local and they're a very good detail shop. So how do you channel your rage in general then? Like okay, so let's say I have like a little bit of road rage issues. Other than that, I don't think I have any rage issues in general or anger problems.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Probably the gym. Gym is like the number one place to vent.
That's a good one. Just being active in any capacity.
And just kind of like lifting heavy. That really helps.
Pumping iron.
Yeah.
So do you like encounter a interaction that really enrages you, and then you put it in like your back pocket, and then when you are in front of like iron, you start fucking lifting it?
Like PR time.
Yeah, PR time. Like because back then when I did a lot of martial arts, it really helps too.
Yeah.
So like punch in the bag, just even like tricking, all that stuff, like parkour, it really helps. So that really helps with anger. I find like that's my only way of outlet so far. Right. So if something happens and I'm handicapped for the rest of my life, I don't know how I'm
so you don't
oh god. Explode.
Nobody
you
heard
just
of
bottle it up. You just bottle it up until you go to the gym.
Well, you must go frequently then, at least. It's not like he's holding it for a long time. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he goes like daily. Yeah,
have an outlet to just.
So you have a lot of rage. It's just you save it.
Yeah, I find like I feel like I'm mellowed out a lot, but it's also because living with family kind of sucks. So a lot of anger comes from that. And once I moved out, I really chilled out.
Right.
But yeah, everyone knows like when you live with your family, your patience are very thin.
Yeah.
Totally. So whatever they say, it's like a ticking time bomb. Just like blows up right away. Totally. Yeah. So, but working out for me. Yeah.
Donnie, what do you do to channel that rage?
Well, for me, it's almost like a personality trait. Everybody knows that. Well, not everyone, but it's pretty common. If you drive with me, you'll notice the trait. Like I'll call out small things.
Yeah.
I almost hallucinate high beams now. It's kind of a joke. I think every single car that I see has high beams on.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's like with Ricky. I'm like,
I think that's like a vision issue, actually.
No, do you know what it is? I've actually been looking into it a little bit. First of all, the easy one you can point out is when you have lifted cars, the beams are just going to be at higher level, than traditionally being lower the thing. People are buying aftermarket LED lights.
Yeah.
And those lights aren't designed to be in the way light reflects off these certain headlights. Right. So then they'll go up and it seems much brighter than what it truly is. Mm-hmm. That's one of them. And I've heard Teslas have automatic high beam on and off. They have
on the high or freeways.
They have a setting for that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll notice it right away when they come around a corner. I'll be beamed,
but it should be off.
Then it dims. Yeah. But there's still a lag period, and that pisses me off a little bit. But yeah, like I'm only ever really vocal and visibly annoyed when I drive. If you see me in day-to-day life, like doing anything else, I'm like a very calm and very reserved, quiet person. It's very little for me to get actually angry in a setting outside of driving, I feel.
Wait a second. Okay, I remember there's things that I do that can chirp you and set you off.
Yeah, well, I mean, with anyone, if you have personal attacks or chirps, I feel it's good.
Keep pressing that red button.
I think that's a very normal response.
So what do you do with that? I don't remember. Do you bottle it up or do you just like?
I tell that person.
Well, if it's someone like you, I'll probably like pick you up and like
you do
try to like tackle you.
He does, yeah.
If it's somebody that I know that I can get away with things like that, then it'll be something like that. But other than that, I usually just kind of let it fizzle out. I feel I never really act on it too much. Or like or like if it's nice, like I like to stay active. Like I like running and things like that. Just being active and using the energy to put it towards something that's a bit more productive. And just like kind of try to expel that. I feel that really helps, but. I can't really remember, and I don't think I can give you a good answer because I don't think I've really been in those scenarios too often.
To rage?
Yeah.
Like if you say that and try to push my buttons, usually I'll just dish it right back at you.
Right, you would, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, at that point, it's just kind of banter. And maybe it might be banter that's a little bit more heated, but it's still banter, right? But I think at the end of the day, we kind of know our limits, right? And we kind of know what's like too far and what's okay. Even if we are still mad, at the end of the day, though, it's like I'm not gonna hold that over you. It's just kind of just poking fun.
Yeah, I don't know what like outside of. I don't know what sets me off these days. Not too much anymore. I think I just
mellowed out. I think the older you get,
the age,
the more you mellow out.
Wait, does that mean like less testosterone?
No. I think it's just like what you're probably gonna say is just kind of like going through these experiences. You realize like what's like impactful and like what's just like not a big deal, and like is it really worth the investment in time right now to like get mad over this?
Yeah, and you learn to like stay away from those. If you know that something's gonna tick you off, you probably just like it's not healthy for me. Avoid. Stay away from it. Right. Yeah. But I'm pretty vocal about it. If I'm getting pissed, I kind of let someone know. I'm like, yo, man, it's starting to piss me off.
I tell it. I think that's a really good thing. I tell people all the time, especially like if I have roommates, for example, close friends. I say, because when you live with someone for a while, I always tell them if there's something I'm doing that's annoying you, like, whether it's something really small, like closing the washroom door late at night or, not doing this or whatever, I'm like, tell me. Because I'm never doing it on purpose. I think just being able to have a communication is a good way to deal with anger as well.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. Just like being able to just like be upfront about it rather than like holding in that resentment. I think that's super important.
Yeah. Until it blows up. And
then you can learn a lesson. It's like, if you hold it there for a while, it's not going to end up well, rather than just like being like, hey man, like when you do this, it makes me really mad. It's like, okay, like dude, like I didn't mean to do that. So for the most part, I always imagine nobody really ever means to do that unless you're like
that's true being
vindictive.
Yeah.
There's something else behind it, but
right. Well, some people are petty and they'll be like, oh wow, I don't like the way you do this kind of thing too.
What about the if we're talking about petty, this kind of just reminded me, the ghosting in Korea story.
What is that?
Is that like can that come on the table or can that?
Yeah, that's fine. You know, it
This
wasn't
is
petty.
you must have heard this one, right?
no ghosting in Korea?
It was just
It's a good one.
well, Donnie and the other group of friends, they always say that I have like a 7-year grudge.
Yeah, he holds grudges. I feel.
Yeah. I think you hold grudges. Is if someone do you wrong,
But you forgive though. You forgive. Just somebody, you have to address it. You have to own up to it.
Yeah, I do forgive.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so what happened was, this was so long ago. It was a
long time ago.
This was a
actually.
very long.
This is an
time
old story.
Ago. I went on a date with this girl who was anyway, we were on this date and it was like a pretty good date. You know, we went to a nice restaurant and whatever. The issue was like we went for like an early dinner, so I was thinking like, oh, we could go like do a walk somewhere or whatever afterwards, but she had plans after the date, so I was a little bit bummed about that. But anyway, that wasn't the what caused it. It was you know, when you go to a date, obviously the guy's gonna pay.
most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you have that feeling,
Unless it doesn't go well, then you
right.
know, it's like
Yeah, then you're 50-50 or something, right?
Or he's a run out and she pays.
Anyway, this date went well. We went to a nice seafood restaurant. She ordered a glass of wine, and I was driving, so I was like, oh, I don't know if she's gonna be comfortable with me like having any sort of alcohol, so I'll just have water, you know. And she had wine. It was all good. Anyway, the date went well, and then the bill came, and she didn't reach for the bill.
Okay.
So for me, like, I care about that. Even obviously, I'm gonna pay for a fucking bill, right? It's like,
yeah.
But then it's like a small investment towards a relationship that would be fostering. Right?
It's a gesture.
It's a gesture, but I expect at least a little bit of like, oh, you know, come on,
you sure?
a little bit.
Like,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like, I could do this, or we do 50-50 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Like, is this girl here or in Korea?
No, this was here.
Oh.
At the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
The story gets funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she didn't reach for a bill. Anyway, I paid and she had plans afterwards. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's the end of the date, right?
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. Like, she didn't offer to pay for a bill or do 50-50 or anything. She just expected I pay.
Mhm.
We also didn't do any follow up, like go for a walk or whatever on the seawall. So I was like, oh, you know what? Not really feeling it. So I just didn't really. Okay, yeah, I sort of ghosted her. I just didn't feel like there was anything more than that. Anyway, it was just a date, right? Anyway, so a few years later, I was in Korea for my friend's wedding,
Mm-hmm.
and she was also in Korea
Oh wow.
because she's Korean, so she was like back home, right?
Yeah.
And she messaged me because she saw my status. She was like, "Oh, you're in Korea. I mean, I live here. Why don't I show you around or whatever, right?" And then, oh, well, okay. So we were talking a little bit, and then she offered to show me around, and I just like left her on red after that, because I've already planned out my entire trip
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Korea. So I was like, I don't know how to tell her no
Yeah.
because I've already planned out my entire trip.
Okay.
Like I have a little mini itinerary that I want to knock off, right? So I don't really need a tour guide. Also, like I study a little bit of Korean already, so I could
You're
get around
good.
fine. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I told Donnie and the group of friends that story, and then from that came my mini title of having like a 7-year grudge, because it was like 7 years ago from before that where we had a date.
And you're still reminded by it. You're like, fuck this bitch. I didn't respond to her.
But I mean, it's fair. You should at least like gesture a little bit.
Reach for it, but
Reach for it.
I find like she's like a fob, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I find like they tend to be more conservative.
Expecting-
They expect the
they
guy.
expect
to
the guy
pay.
to pay,
because
right,
like
yeah.
over the especially in Korea, you know, like the whole culture is
Right.
like the guy take care.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
K-dramas.
just K dramas. Yeah, freaking hate K dramas. But it's just the expectations.
The expectation.
You don't like it. The expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't. It was just like snowballed into like a 7-year grudge. But honestly, it was like.
So if she
Wasn't
hits you
really
up right now, be like, hey, let's go for
Like I'm back in Vancouver.
back in Vancouver. Let's
No,
go
you
for
didn't reach for a fucking bill.
Yeah, it's like still now.
Fuck that. It's
Like, you think I want to do that again?
you think I'm gonna fucking pay for another
You think I
dinner
wanna do
and
that
you
again?
without a fucking little reach around?
I've learned my lesson.
She messaged you and you're like, are you paying this time? She's like, what? Because I paid last time.
It's like you still like you remember that? It's like, yeah.
Clearly,
Is it-
as if it was only like yesterday.
It's in my journal. I had to talk to my therapist about it. Oh man.
Yeah,
But you're better at
Ye-
like not holding grudges anymore.
I think so.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're pretty good.
A little bit.
Like I don't know. I've never gotten on your bad side, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, if I ever did something wrong, I always tell you. Like, just tell me. Like,
Yeah,
I hope so.
yeah.
So one day you don't show up, you're like, fucking guy.
Fuck this podcast. No, I'm joking.
Why doesn't Ricky want to come? Ricky hates you. Since when? It's like a year ago. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
But it's fair, right? Donnie,
Um,
what do you think?
I think,
Have you had a date where the girl didn't reach?
yeah, all the time.
Oh, always.
It's common though.
I'd say it's pretty common.
And then
I've had a lot of instances though when I would like insist to pay and they'd be like, oh no, I want to get this one, or like, let's split it or something like that. And I think that's fine. But at the end of the day, like I'm usually okay with it. Like it's kind of like a cultural expectation around. So like if we're gonna initiate this, I'm usually already accepting the fact that I'm probably gonna be.
So even if she doesn't reach, she just like leans back into her chair.
To me,
as you
I don't
pull out
really-
your wallet.
I honestly don't really have a problem with that too much, but I really do appreciate when they do.
Yeah.
offer.
The traction kind of scale
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of.
like,
does,
I'm like,
it does,
okay,
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
nice. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. But to me, like, it doesn't annoy me.
Yeah.
I guess more so just because we're so like just culturally acceptive of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And are you petty? Like how petty can you get?
I think maybe it's hard for me to think back and imagine times that I am because now I'm like just so like relaxed about a lot
Yeah,
of things.
chill,
I
yeah.
let a lot of things go. Does anything come to mind about you things in the past that I may have done that have been petty? Because I'm trying to think myself like immediately. Usually I'm pretty understanding about it, or I won't let it get to that stage. If something bothers me, I'll always like usually want to address it because I'll think about it a lot and I'll ruminate it a lot and it bothers me. So I won't let it sit for a long period of time and let it go. I'll usually address it at the time. So
Yeah, I think that's true. Johnny doesn't really wait for things to simmer. He'll like react to it pretty quick.
or
that's
even
good.
or even if I get mad, I feel like I get over stuff really quick. Like I'm just like, yeah, like I was super pissed. And maybe I'll even think back on how I acted and be like, oh, that was really embarrassing.
Yeah.
And like now I'm almost like I don't even want to talk about it because like I'm so over it. I'm like, let's not even bring it up because I just think the way I acted was so stupid.
Yeah.
Like I almost shift the blame on myself. I'm like, I shouldn't have acted that way, you know, kind of thing like that. And I'm like, let's just move on. Like I'm cool with this. Hopefully you're cool with this kind of thing. And if you need to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But for the most part, I'm just like, damn, like I was a dumbass. Maybe from a fault, maybe I'll like accept faults that I don't even think may necessarily be on my end.
Right.
Just to kind of get over it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's hard. Let me think about it a little bit. But at the moment in time, I can't really think
No,
of
I don't
anything.
think.
Yeah.
Well, how about you, Angus? Would you consider yourself petty?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty petty. Like if someone did me wrong, I'm gonna make sure I get back. Like I'm pretty petty, and I don't feel bad about it.
Actually, yeah, when you mentioned that, actually, it kind of reminds me. Ricky was driving me home a few nights ago, and we had a talk about how maybe you might hold certain people to different standards. Right? We were talking like hypothetical situations about, say, what was the situation exactly? It was something about cheating or something.
Oh,
But it was anyway. Oh yes, I remember it was now.
Yeah, I had this exact conversation also with like would have been a few weeks ago with Dave and Giselle.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
So then, yeah, it was talking about like a hypothetical, like if one of your best friends cheated with, was it a girlfriend or somebody maybe you were seeing at the time? Ricky was saying initially how he would be really annoyed at the.
Sorry, no. Yeah, this is something totally different. Okay, if you had this is hypothetical, but if you had a girlfriend who cheated on you with your friend,
Your girl cheated with a friend of yours.
yeah,
Okay.
would you be more upset at the girl or the guy?
I think I'll
The
be
friend.
equally pissed.
But there's always gonna be like a little bit more resentment, no?
Well, what kind of friend? Is like my best friend? Like a close
Good
friend?
friend, good friend.
Yo, dude, that's what messed up.
That's what I was saying.
I'd be pretty messed up with my close friend. Because
That's
I'm
what I'd
like,
say.
dude, I thought we're close friends.
Yeah,
Like,
because like if it's like say even like a decent length relationship, 2-3 years, maybe more.
yeah.
You've known like a good friend, you know, we're talking greater than 10 years. You
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
them to a higher standard
Yeah.
because you really trust them.
Yeah.
It's like when they break that trust, it's like a lot bigger deal than say somebody that you've been in a relationship with
Yeah,
for a matter
exactly.
of a few years. And Ricky was like, I never really thought of that way. I'm like, I think I hold different people to different standards.
Yeah.
You know, like close acquaintances versus friends versus really good friends.
Yeah, like best friends.
I expect
yeah.
a lot more out of them. Right?
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's because there was this TikTok video
Is that where it stemmed from?
It stemmed from this TikTok video. It was from a local comedian. I'm gonna shout him out. His name is Rob Peng, or Bob Peng.
Okay.
But he's like a comedian, and anyway, he was on this show where he was asked this hypothetical, and immediately he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be mad at the girl. Like that's over. Good friends are hard to come by. Like you're just not gonna find a good like best friend like that. Like 10 years or whatever. You've gone through thick and thin, or you've gone through a lot. You've had a lot of experiences together. Like I would rather like totally evaporate this situation with a girl." And maintain a friendship with a guy. Sure. Kind of thing. Like, sure. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's like you know, like really great friends are hard to come by. You know,
it's not really great until he sleeps with your girl.
Yeah,
until he sleeps with your girl, I guess. But
I don't think I would agree with that take at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like it'd just be like hard to kind of go back to the way things were before.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, hey, you're my best friend, but you also slept with my girl.
Like that's what I would remember.
Well, it's okay. You're my best friend, right? You get a pass.
We'll still game together, right? Like,
yeah.
That's what it is. I think it's like, would you still game with this friend?
Hell no.
No?
I'll just trip nonstop.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
like,
even...
Would you do this like you did to my ex-girl? Would you do this like you did to this?
Yeah, I don't even think I can be friends with that person anymore.
Yeah, no.
Like, the trust is completely gone.
Yeah, like if you're gonna play like some game, like say like World of Warcraft, you do like a raid, like you steal the raid gear, like you did my ex-girlfriend. I would do that nonstop.
He'd be like, "Yo, I need a res." What? No, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Like
just walk over to the body.
That's how I felt.
Like stuff like that. It'd be like that, and I think it wouldn't be healthy. So like, I mean, for me, like if somebody does something like that, it's like kind of almost really unforgivable, or I need a lot of time.
Yeah, hell.
I hold those people to a higher standard because you expect more out of them.
I probably start developing trust issues.
You crush it a lot more, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a therapist.
Yeah, they go to like therapy right after that. But like, yo, my best friend, stuff with my girl. All right. If you like that podcast, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Put in the comments. Let us know if you're very petty, and if you have road rage and how you deal with it.
Right.
I know. Oh, that was a good one. I should have asked you about the why you hate cyclists.
Oh, I just hate them in general. It wasn't a specific road rage, is it?
As soon as a person hops on a bike, we're like,
like me on a bike versus me not on a bike, different person. Huh?
God, I fucking hate you on a bike.
Yeah.
Let's keep it on foot then. Huh?
Yeah, let's keep it on foot or on a bus.
I like it.
But yeah, thank you so much, Donnie, for being our ready setter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And being our guest today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of the boys.
Be one of the boys. Yeah.
Yep.
Be sure to follow our socials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll post the link tree on our bio.
Yep. I think that's pretty much it. We can wrap it there.
Okay.
All right. Hope everyone likes this podcast, and see everyone on the next one.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.